these are white lives matter activists. I don't even want to call them activists. My brain just goes to that word when I say lives matter. Because it's usually like every child matters activist or Black Lives Matter activist. So when I say white lives matter, I don't actually mean that they're activists. They're white lives matter fascists. That's a much better word for it. It's a wonderful day in the homiehood, a wonderful day for a homie. Won't you be my homie to Taro? Toronto, Ontario, Canada. There is another drag story time under attack. A bunch of neo-Nazis, white supremacists, vaccine deniers, basically the same old gang that we've been warning about through the entire rise of the alt-right throughout the pandemic. Back at it again with the calls for genocide and extermination of a vulnerable group of people, which is trans people, who they often conflate with drag queens. We have video here of what I believe are white lives matters neo-Nazis, I guess. I didn't even know that was the thing. Somebody was like, it's WLM. And I'm like, wait, what? What is that? Weapons of lazy misogyny. No, it's white lives matters. It's like, oh, what? Really? For real? That is even an actual thing that exists? That is shocking to me. So here's the video. I haven't seen this yet. I shared it in the Discord. I didn't even watch it. Somebody was commenting on little dude in the camo jacket, so I'm kind of watching him. So is he threatening to what? Himself? I can't even hear what they're saying. Are they saying go home fascists? What? Or go home racist. I'm not sure who's on whose side here. Pretty standard scene so far, I guess. You know, people just yelling at each other. Don't know what they're saying. I think this is King Nico. I don't know. I don't follow this alt-right stuff, but I'm pretty sure this is King Nico. This is that other woman he's always with. I think I saw Karima's. Oh, Karima's cameraman is right there. Okay, so I can hear them now chanting, "Go home, fascists." Okay, so here's little man, Napoleon complex looking mother saying, when the war comes, you'll be the first to go. Sounds like a genocide to me. War is coming. You're the first to go. And then they're coming through with the cross. This dude's just walking through it like, what the hell is going on? It's like, holy crap. I'm just walking home from work. Do you even know who you worship? Be like, what are you talking about? Just like a good God-fearing American, I worship Joseph Brandon. The cops have their backs to the defenders. Yeah, for once. I guess that's good to see. Usually they look like they're protecting the fascists. These horse cops, what do you call them? Mounted police. Apparently responsible for also harassing the fash. Kind of love to see it. Joe Morin was here sharing a couple pictures. Nazis, WLM Toronto, joined the drag storytime protest with other Christians. This is a growing concern. If you're standing with Nazis, you're a Nazi. This is true. Especially when they're here at the event, Sig Heiling. What more do you need to know about being on the wrong side of history when you look around at the other people who agree with you and they're literally Sig Heiling? Drag is not for kids. Pretty actually tame sign when it comes to a lot of the signs I've seen in protest at Drag Storytime. I mean, that's just like your opinion, man. So like, let families make those choices for themselves. That's what I would say to that. Also interesting, very rare that you see them wearing masks. Are they wearing masks? Are they protecting themselves from COVID? Wow. These are the woke Nazis, I guess. And I don't know, here's another fascist wearing a Save Canada hat, which is basically just a MAGA North hat. It's a red hat that, some white people want to wear. You can pretty much figure out the rest. So, very interesting scene. I don't know if we're seeing a change of tactics among the alt-right in Canada. I've never heard of White Lives Matter until now. So Kristen Wong-Tam made a statement. They are also kind of on the front lines of this. They are a queer, I believe, lesbian woman who has suggested specific legislation that will protect events like Drag Storytime, queer events. Ontario government should move forward. They're non-binary, not a woman. Oh, apologies for that. They, them pronouns. Okay, good to know. Thank you for letting me know. I really hope that we see some pressure. Obviously, these events, these hate rallies and the counter protests from drag defenders are going to keep happening. Hey, maybe we should legislate around this and ensure that these events are allowed to happen in a safe way, right? These are events for children, and there's a hate rally outside of these events almost every time they occur. There should be safety precautions for the families, for the children who want to attend these events. Of course, the fascists will say that it's the drag queens who are a danger to children. But you know what's actually a danger to children? Conservatism, fascism, the church. Those are all things that have historically been not very good for children and their mental well-being, if not their physical well-being. So I think there is some soul searching that those White Lives Matter activists, I guess you could call them, need to be doing. But obviously, colonization, white nationalism, the hierarchy that of God and men within the household is something that has historically harmed a lot of children, whether they're Indigenous children or simply children growing up in those hierarchical families, right? And it's time. It's 2023. We're finally breaking away from that, and we are getting the last gasps of that movement. White people, white men specifically, wanting to hold on to their power. And it all has to relate to the heteronormity of society. And we are punching through that hole, right? We're doing these events in public places, drag story time. And it's starting at a young age, as it should, because our knowledge of what gender is, what sexuality is, how diverse it is, how diverse our families are. And in many cases, some of these children's own families might have trans folks. That's what their family looks like. Just explain it to them. They're children, they're open-minded, they understand it actually a lot easier than a lot of these fascists understand it. The funny thing here is, of course, that the fascists are claiming that the police are not on their side, right? And these are people who basically need to be coddled by the law. We are here and we're queer and we don't want any more fascists. So this is coming from Daisy Media. A lot of people in our community know who Daisy is. Honestly, I don't even really know who it is. All I know is that they're like a fascist. A lot of people have called them a groomer because they literally take like children under their wing. And that's why we end up with people like these Save Canada kids who get platformed by these other white supremacists, colonizers in Canada who are xenophobic. They are super afraid of queer folks and the LGBTQ plus community. And my understanding from watching their content before, and even just a little bit of it, is they get told by the police, hey, don't break the rules. Specifically, like, hey, you were not allowed to cross that barrier, and you crossed that barrier. And now that you've been told the rules and you're still breaking the rules, we have to detain you. That is essentially their entire playbook. And when they get detained, when they specifically break the rules that they've been warned not to break by the police officers, they film it and then they put it to social media and they play the victim. So if it's so obvious, if it was any other group of people like standing up for their rights, then like, you know, maybe it would be legitimate. But since these are White Lives Matter activists, I don't even want to call them activists. I just my brain just goes to that word when I say lives matter, because it's usually like every child matters activist or Black Lives Matter activist. So when I say White Lives Matter, I don't actually mean that they're activists. They're White Lives Matter fascists. That's a much better word for it. So this is the video that they're all crying about because police are treating them like they would probably treat anyone in this situation. If anything, they're being super nice to them because, let's face it, they're white dudes.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
I'm looking. What am I looking at? It's like, is he going to talk to the horse? I don't know.
Hey, well, no, I'm going to make sure this guy's okay, and I'm going to damn well film it while you trample people.
You can tell how much experience he has just being a person who goes to these things and is talking to the police in this way. Let's be real. If it was a person of color talking to the police like this, they'd be arrested immediately. Like the fact that they get treated with kid gloves, I mean, in some cases they're literally kids, but they literally get treated with kid gloves, and then they also cry victim because they're fucking pussies. Let's face it.
Okay. Yeah, well, you're going to if you keep this shit up. What, man?
Like, I don't know if they can train the horses to like kick white supremacists in the head. I would pay more in taxes, and I just paid way too much, I feel like, in taxes to train the horses to kick somebody wearing a red cap in the head.
Because I was impeded. Thank you. Please go on to the side. Yeah, I will when I'm done with this.
Oh my God, cry more.
I will when I'm done here. Thanks. What are you gonna do? Hit me with your horse?
Okay, so here's the Save Canada kids.
Oh, I can't control what.
What are they doing? If the police are in my face like this, I would just leave. Because you know what I don't want? Attention from police. They want the attention so bad. That's why they're in this situation.
But you can't control what these fucking crowds are doing. And you don't need a horse to do it. Dude, look, where am I supposed to go? I'm surrounded by fucking horses.
Where am I supposed to go? I'm surrounded by horses. Like, dude, just leave. You're free, literally free to leave. You can get through these two horses right here if you really wanted to. He doesn't want to leave. He wants to stay so that he can victimize himself.
Stop talking to me. Stop it. Stop.
Can I speak? I turned on the other side and I drove these boys.
Fuck me, you fucking lunatics. Get the fuck out of here.
Look at all the space there where he was free to leave. Like, what a
Excuse me. Excuse me.
We need to cross.
Excuse me.
I drove them. Hey, cop.
Am I being detained?
I drove them. Can we please go? I gotta go.
You're on camera. I'm not being
We
detained.
gotta go.
Then let's.
what it's like, I drove these kids. Are they your kids? No, but I drove them here, and I'm worried about people grooming children, but I drove them here, and I'm gonna claim responsibility to them of them as if they're my own children, but they're not. But also I'm worried about groomers, and I swear I'm not a groomer, but I'm definitely worried about groomers.
Go. Move your horses. We are not. No. The sidewalk's closed.
The sidewalk's closed. They've probably been told way prior to this that the sidewalk's closed and not to go here, and they're insisting on going here. So they just, again, they just want the attention.
Block it. You can't arbitrarily.
Yeah, Monty, if it's closed, they can't go up.
Hey, buddy, I'm
Okay, well, wait here.
decided I drove these guys. Let us through.
I drove these guys, let us through, because my parked car is over there.
Let us through.
You're welcome to go
Let us through. My car's on.
You got a phone, right? If you put your phone down and stop filming, you could use Google Maps to see that you can literally go take another sidewalk. Right? If you reach a sign that says, "Hey, the road's closed" or "the sidewalk's closed," what do? You just keep trying to ram yourself through, or you just be like, "You know what? Okay, I'll just go around like a normal person."
This is fucking insane.
I can't walk the other way. I'm going out of town to go to the way.
Imagine manufacturing this scenario and then being like, "This is insane." It is insane because any normal person would just go around, just find another route. What are you going to do? Not get back to your car? But you specifically need to go that way, probably so you can harass some LGBTQ plus families on your way to your vehicle. Like you are the insane one in this situation.
Yeah, what is?
I only know. You can't arbitrarily block it.
Get out of here safely. Dude, you're insane.
Okay, so it's so pathetic. Let's just go back a moment. Look. They're like, I'm surrounded by horses. Bro, you're only being impeded on one side. Here's the horse, and here's the street. There's nothing over there. There's nothing over there. There's nothing stopping you from going the opposite direction and just like walking a block over to get to your vehicle. But you're just here because you're a idiot. You're a fascist. You don't know how to use, I guess, I don't know, Google Maps or even just basic sense of direction. You can just walk a block over and get to your vehicle if that was actually what your goal was. But you're just an insane person who wants to victimize themselves so that they can get clicks on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram. I don't know, whatever social media these people use. Okay? So absolutely insane. And once again, just proof that the alt-right, they're just a bunch of crybabies. All right? They manufacture these scenarios in order to pretend as if they're the victim of literally anything, right? You think white lives matter activists, okay, I gotta stop saying activists, fascists are actually like someone within our society right now who deserves any of our sympathy. That is insane. All of the white supremacists also are already within the ranks of the police. The thin blue line that they all wear on their uniforms, or I even saw a flag flying the other day, is a symbol of colonization and white supremacy. They are more aligned with you than literally any other like ideology out there, and you still find a way to make yourself appear a victim because you're literally just doing professional wrestling on social media. So, in conclusion, white lives matter. Fuck the fascists. Fuck the Nazis. Fuck anyone who puts themselves in these situations in order to gain social media clout for a fascist movement that is calling for the genocide of trans folks. There's no room in our society for it. And it's important at the end of the day to recognize that the people who stand for this are literal neo-Nazis. And the only way we're going to get out of it is actually if we respond with force. And if that force is legislation in Ontario, then I think that would be fantastic. But the conservative Doug Ford government, they're cowards. They're not willing to pass this very basic legislation that is actually just calling for police to enforce the Charter of Rights and Freedoms here in Canada. What are they scared of? What are they scared of? Are they scared of losing some people in their base who would identify with people like this? Are they really scared of losing some white supremacists within their movement? They need to go ahead. They need to support the NDP. I know they're a majority government and they don't have to do shit, but why not? Why not? I think we are very quickly going to learn that Ontario actually is an NDP stronghold. Because we need an answer to Doug Ford and the Liberals are super weak. We need an answer in Toronto, and the polling shows that Olivia Chow is the frontrunner of this election. That's a win for the NDP in Toronto. What is the answer going to be to this conservative Doug Ford government? I genuinely think that right now, with this political climate, it is going to be the NDP and people like Kristen Wong-Tam who want to legislate more protection for the LGBTQ plus community. Why not make sure you don't miss the next video by liking, commenting, subscribing, and ringing the bell? Thank you so much for watching. It's my homie, 2 Taro. Peace.